Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bob Dylan Deep Dive, episode 3 of 39. So, still got a long way to go here, but we're plowing through these at a good pace so far. Um, so, the debut was a new listen for me, Freewheeling was a re-listen for me, and now we're on the Times They Are A-Changin. It's also a re-listen. The rest of these 60s albums I've all heard before, but some of them I'm more familiar with than others. This is one of those that I've only ever heard all the way through once or twice. Um, and I guess I can give it away now. I was never the biggest fan of this album. It is, I would call it a departure from Freewheeling in some ways. It's still got that sort of acoustic sound. It's mainly just Dylan, the acoustic guitar and the harmonica, but this album feels a lot darker. Lyrical themes are very different, a lot more overtly political. It feels like an artistic statement, and it feels less melodic for the most part than Freewheeling did. Freewheeling felt like a sort of breezy spring afternoon kind of album, with some incredible poetry in there as well. Whereas this album definitely has more darkness to it. And I did get more out of it this time around. Um, Obviously, the opening track is absolutely worth the hype. It is overplayed, that's for sure, but it is one of his most essential tracks, and there's a reason why it is, among his very most well-known songs. Um, and you have a track like Ballad of Hollis Brown, which sort of reflects this sort of dark underbelly of a lot of the songs. It's just got this sort of horrible atmosphere when listening to it that I was really just getting lost in. There is a real bleakness to a lot of this album, in my opinion, and I love the guitar part on that song. With God on Our Side, even is a little lethargic and overlong for me. I like the message. I think it's a bit excessive in terms of its length and the amount of verses that you get. I kind of got the point quite early into the song, so that kind of goes on, and definitely a weak spot on the album. But then, I mean, I assume we're going to get a lot of these songs that I either forgot about or had never heard before. One Too Many Mornings is an absolute gem. It's so gentle, and that guitar part is beautiful. It's just a marvelous song. And to be honest, it probably is my favorite on the album. It is just so soft and beautiful, and I just can't get enough of it. And it really stands out on this album because the whole album feels so serious and intentional, and then this song feels quite sort of meditative and reflective, but I don't want to say improvised. That sort of sounds like a detriment to the song, but it feels a bit more loose and a bit more relaxed, and it just has those great qualities to it. North Country Blues is another one similar to With God on Our Side. It doesn't really leave much of an impression on me. It's a bit nothing. I would probably say it's the weakest song on the album. Only a Pawn in Their Game. Again, very overtly political. There's some, I'm not going to be questioning Bob Dylan's songwriting much, if at all. But I will say on this song, some of the rhyming was a bit like, okay, yeah, like, sure, like, whatever. Not his finest work. This album shows that his lyrical genius is definitely there. This song maybe does not, in my opinion. Boots of Spanish Leather has an uncanny similarity to Girl from the North Country. It's pleasant, but it's inessential. I really like when the ship comes in, actually, towards the end. Really nice song. Love the sort of sea shanty-esque feel of it. Really cool. Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, some of the best lyrics on the album. There's a real snarl to it that I really appreciate. I do kind of, as a whole listen, I kind of wish some of these songs were arranged a little differently, but obviously, within the constraints of him working within the folk scene at the time, I definitely see why. But I do think the songwriting is a bit of a step down from Freewheeling. And then, yeah, you just get Restless Farewell at the end, which is a really underwhelming way to close. It's just, again, nothing song really. So, mixed bag for me. I do appreciate it more than I did And of course, you have One Too Many Mornings, which, wow, what a beautiful song that is. That has skyrocketed up my Dylan list. You could see the track ratings here on screen. Overall rating, I'm going to go for a 7 out of 10. I think it's good. I think it's better than the debut for sure, and a step down from Freewheeling for sure as well. I probably would have had it as a 6 before revisiting this, so I do like it more than I did. It's a very particular album um, that I have to be in the mood for, and I feel like I was in the mood for it, but there are just some songs on this that really drag it down. As you can see, my highest rated tracks are One Too Many Mornings and the title track, The Times They Are A-Changin, and my bottom two, Restless Farewell and North Country Blues. So that's The Times They Are A-Changin. Let me know what you think of the album down below. How do you think it compares to his first two albums? I'm intrigued. And yeah, next up is going to be his other album from 1964, Another Side of Bob Dylan. And then we're heading into a very exciting period, the electric rock trilogy. So really excited for that. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe, press the bell, and hopefully I'll catch you soon.